So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we're looking at Geert Wilders, the possible Prime Minister of the Netherlands, the incoming Prime Minister of the Netherlands. This man recently made some remarks regarding Islam, regarding the Prophet ﷺ, that were not true. And as usual, we are here to present Islam just the way it is, to, inform the people what Islam stands for. Let's watch the clip and then come back.
Islam, my friends, is indeed evil.
So before we respond to Islam is evil, let's imagine that Islamophobia is a tree. The very pinnacle of this tree is this man. Why? Because he so much hates Islam that he couldn't even hide his feelings regarding Islam. When it comes to Islam, he pours out everything just the way he feels. This is the same person that wants to ban the Quran. He knows nothing about the Quran. He knows nothing about the Prophet ﷺ, obviously, and he knows nothing about Islam. But then he wants to ban the Quran in the Netherlands. Now, how can people truly understand what Islam stands for? First and foremost, Islam simply means to submit. To submit to what? To the wills of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So now let's quickly go to the Quran. The same thing, the same book this man wants to ban in the Netherlands. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, addressing mankind, and this is not just directed towards the believers, okay, this is mankind in general, but those who believe and those who don't. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O mankind, indeed we have created you from male and female and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah, subhanallah. Listen very well. The most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. If a religion is evil, it would never say to mankind that the most noble amongst you before God, before Allah, is the one that is righteous. Righteous, in other words, the one that is kind, the person that shows mercy towards others. These are the best of people. And this is what Islam preaches. This is what Islam stands for. And let's look at another verse and see how pure Islam is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and now this specifically addressing the believers, he said, O you who have believed, be persistently standing firm in justice, witnesses for Allah, even if it be against yourselves or parents or relatives, whether one is rich or poor, Allah is more worthy of both. So follow not personal inclination, lest you not be just. And if you distort your testimony or refuse to give it, then indeed Allah is ever with what you do acquainted. Subhanallah. What kind of an evil religion would preach this? What kind of an evil religion would tell its followers to be just, even if it is against their own selves or against their own parents, their relatives? But then they should stand firm in support of justice, and they shouldn't even hide their own testimonies. They should come out even if it is against themselves. What kind of an evil religion would preach this? This is what Islam stands for. This only makes you to see the sweetness of Islam and how beautiful this religion is.
Look at its so-called Prophet Muhammad. He slaughtered Jewish tribes, he raped a young girl, he gave sex slaves as a gift to his henchmen, and he is still today an example for more than 1 billion Muslims worldwide. No wonder that some of his followers take to terrorism.
Again, you see, this man made some allegations here. He said, look at the so-called Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. He slaughtered Jewish tribe. You see, if the Prophet ﷺ was after the Jews would not have been in existence today. In fact, when we look at history, if you have any understanding of history, obviously this man knows no history. If you have any understanding of history, you understand that Muslims, Islam, have seek to protect the Jews. Okay, and inshallah I would be doing a video particularly on this matter, because this matter is something that is very extensive and I would want to do a video, so stay tuned inshallah. But then what is important is Muhammad ﷺ had a good relationship with the Jews, and in fact in some battle the Jews actually came out to help the Prophet ﷺ in fighting his war. Okay, so he had a good relationship with them. It's funny that this man said the Prophet ﷺ raped a girl. This is one of these very old arguments that doesn't hold water. And in fact, he's not in the position to see this, because he knows no history. He knows he doesn't know the Prophet ﷺ. He doesn't even know Aisha radiallahu anha. But then he can jump and quote Aisha said she's 9, so she's a girl, and he raped her. They would never quote where Aisha talked about her marital life with the Prophet ﷺ, how she's been a very jealous woman, how she would follow the Prophet ﷺ in the middle of the night just to see where he's going, how she would want the Prophet ﷺ all for herself. They would never quote this. How she would dress just for the Prophet ﷺ to come and see her and be pleased with her. How she would keep asking the Prophet ﷺ to quantify his love for her. They would never quote this part. And the enemies of the Prophet ﷺ saw her, they knew his family. These are the people in the best position to use these to their advantage to condemn Islam. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ is married to a girl or raping someone. But they never used this to their advantage. They've called the Prophet ﷺ all sort of names. They said this person is mad, this person is a sorcerer, this person is a soothsayer, this person is a magician. But none ever used the word rape or said he married an underage girl. So this man is in no position to make the statement. It's so ridiculous.